Patriots with a 20-12 win over the Vikings in preseason game number 2. It's the Shaw's and Star Market Patriots Postgame Show. Matt McCarthy, Joe Murray in today. And joining us, as he always does on the postgame show, is Greg Bedard. Greg, if we're going to talk about opening up gaps, there's one person we need to talk to about that. It's the big boy himself. What'd you make of the Patriots offensive line? It felt like they were a big part of the story this week coming out of joint practices. What did you see from them today?
Yeah, just on today, I mean, look, it's hard to really make a judgment because, like the Commanders game the week before, the Vikings didn't suit anybody up. They even held out more people than the Commanders did. So the Patriots were going up against second and third team defensive guys for the Vikings. But I will say I think there was some good and bad. I thought that Will Campbell was pretty good in this game from what I could see. I didn't have him for any pressures on first look. He had a couple really nice run blocks, including on the Travion Henderson touchdown. He sort of one-armed the guy down the field. It was a really nice block. Ben Brown did some good work on that. But other than that, I didn't think it was very good. I think that probably the most distressing thing out of this game is that it seems like they've gone backwards in terms of coming up with their starting five on the offensive line. Ben Brown started the game at left guard. Weren't sure whether we were going to see Jared Wilson, who didn't take part in the second practice. He ends up coming in as the second team left guard, got his first snaps as center in a couple weeks at least. Owenu was okay, probably pretty good after I get to watch the film. Marcus Bryant at right tackle had a couple tough reps. So very much a mixed bag, but a lot of stuff to sort out on the interior because it looks like Jared Wilson has been demoted. And who knows, with the Garrett Bradbury looked like he did not play well at all today. And does that mean that center is now an open competition? Like, I just think left guard and center are now in a blender at this point for the Patriots, and not ideal with just over 3 weeks left until the season opener.
Yeah, I was going to ask, did anybody emerge today? I mean, I saw Cole Strange at center. City Cell had some sort of penalty there. Jacobs, again, last week I thought he was decent, but Vidarian Lowe sighting today as well. It's just a mixed bag, Greg. Is anybody emerging at this point?
No, I mean, look, I think they're set. I would say that they are set right now, obviously at left tackle, at right guard, and right tackle with Morgan Moses. The Patriots might say that they are set at center. I think after they watch this film of Garrett Bradbury in this game, I don't think that's going to be the case. I think, and now left guard, like, what do you do? I mean, Ben Brown's really not a guard. He hasn't played guard until, just recently. He's been only a center. Cole Strange, maybe he gets back in the mix at left guard. They don't really have any options beyond that. Layden Robinson, City So got a little bit of time, like you said, but he's been very much working on the third team. Tyrese Robinson is in there late. So there's a lot to sort out at left guard and center, and I don't know which direction it's going to go. I don't think we're going to be able to – now the Patriots go behind closed doors until the season opener. Other than the preseason game against the Giants, where probably not many people are going to play. I would probably play a lot of the offensive linemen, at least the left guards and centers, and sort that out. But there's a lot they have to sort out.
Greg, is there an argument to be made for maybe moving Owenu to the left side, putting him at left guard? I mean, given the money they're paying him, being a veteran player that he is, I'm sure I know he's better on the right, but you've got a rookie left tackle in Will Campbell. I would make that argument, but I defer to you on offensive line opinions.
No, I am done moving Mike Owenu anywhere. We've seen that with the whole tackle stuff. It did not go well for him. He is a Pro Bowl caliber right guard. Asking him to switch sides is, not ideal. I mean, it's not the toughest thing in the world, but I think they've screwed around with him so long to his detriment that I don't see that being much of an option at all for them.
Greg, let's talk about the wide receiver room. Efton Chisholm had himself a nice day. seems to get better, and he's really shifty, meaning he doesn't take on hits, and a really strong move around the goal line there. Kyle Williams took a ball from Josh Dobbs and left the game. There's reports about Stefon Diggs maybe slowing down a little bit. What does that room look like, and does it look like Efton Chisholm is going to get a roster spot?
Yeah, I've had him there all along. I mean, I think that what he did today is sort of a continuation of what he's done on the practice field. Now, he hasn't gotten, many reps, if any, with the first team. And also, what we've seen him do in the practices, in the games, again, it's against backups and third stringers. So really the only question about him is, can he do this against the starters? And I think he's going to get that opportunity. I think if the Patriots decide to release him and maybe try to get him to the practice squad, I think there's very little chance of that. I think he gets snapped up in about 0.2 seconds. I think the room is pretty much set depending on Jalen Polk's injury status. He hasn't been put on IR yet, but I think, Diggs, Hollins, Kyle Williams got dinged up today. Hopefully that's not a long-term thing. Douglas, Booty, Chisholm, and then it's, do you keep one of Polk, Bourne, Javon Baker, who had kind of a rough day today with, I think he had 1 catch and 7 targets. Not all his fault. Josh Dobbs was erratic again. He also had a boneheaded false start in the red zone, which is not going to help his case. So, I think that room's pretty close. It's just a matter of how many are they going to keep. I've had 7 on my previous 53s. I haven't done an update this week, but I will after this game.
Who were your 7, if you don't mind me asking, Greg? Was Baker one of them? Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so going into this week, I had Diggs, Hollins, Williams, Douglas, Booty, Polk, and Chisholm. Now, Polk had the injury, so we don't know what's going to happen with that. I could see him ending up on IR. And now it's, do you want to keep Bourne or Baker? And I'm not sure. Bourne hasn't been out there in a while. It looked like he was falling down the depth chart when he was. You might be able to get something for him in a trade, maybe back to the 49ers, where they're having a lot of issues in their wide receiver room with people being healthy. So, as of right now, I probably have 6, and then, the argument is going to be, do you keep 7?
Did Baker lose a job today, if he even had one in the first place?
It could be. We'll have to see how he did on special teams. He kind of, stood out a little bit there in the first preseason game. I didn't notice anything offhand. He still did a good job, like running routes. He got open late in the back of the end zone. There was sticky coverage. He got loose of it, might have pushed off a little bit. But Dobbs, I think he hit his hand on a defender as he let it go. He got open on the sideline, but Dobbs threw high to him. I think the film is kind to him, and I'm not quite ready to write him off quite yet.
Greg, I just wanted to ask your thoughts on Stefon Diggs and some of the reporting this week. Is he slowing down? Is he not a number 1 receiver? What is your take on Diggs' performance so far?
Yeah, I don't know what to make of Stefon Diggs, and I asked because there's been a few things. There's been the Commanders joint practice. He comes on midway through, and there were some reports that that was the plan, and they wanted to keep competitive reps to a minimum for him, but the part of practice that he missed, there's no competitive reps. It's just basically like walkthroughs and things like that. It didn't make any sense. And then he didn't play in the game, and Vrabel says it was coach's decision. You could read that as he was late getting out on the field. I don't know, but a lot of it, the explanations didn't make sense. Then Todd Downing talks to the media and basically hinted that he's not happy with his role or the production, and they're dealing with that behind the scenes. He did take part in the 2 joint practices here. He did all right. I mean, I just think he's not making a huge impact, but I think it's just, if I had to read it, I think it's just part of the process with him coming back from ACL, and I think they're just trying to pace him. But he went on Diana Rossini's podcast, and he's playing coy about whether he's going to be activated for week 1. And I don't think that's what the Patriots want. I mean, Vrabel was asked about it, and I agree with Vrabel. Like, if you watch practice, he's going to be out there week 1. He's been out there every single day, and it just seems like they're ramping him up. But I'm not ready to say that he's slowing down. I never thought he was a number 1. He might be a number 1 for this team, but I think as of right now, that's probably going to be Demario Douglas.
The Shaw's and Star Market Patriots postgame show rolls on. Matt McCarthy, Joe Murray, Greg Bedard. Joe, I know you have a thought that you wanted to get to on the kicking competition and the special teams as a whole.
Yeah, Greg, outside of the some of the kickoffs late in the game with the second and third people, is there are they prioritizing special teams a little bit more when it comes to the kick return game? It's been really good after 2 weeks. Is this a Springer thing? Is it Vrabel more of an emphasis on it? It's just much better through 2 preseason games.
Yeah, I think it's been really good, Joe. I agree with you, and I think it's an emphasis. I think it started probably with John Stretch Striker and Vrabel once the NFL sort of tweaked the kickoff rules, where a touchback goes to the 35, and I think they sort of went to work and saw how it could be an advantage. It probably factored into their decision to draft like a Travion Henderson like early in the second round, that not just a running back and pass receiver, but also could be very dangerous on kickoffs. But they've certainly done a really good job, and I think that's going to continue to be an emphasis for them. And I think, look, let's be honest, the Patriots still aren't the most talented team in the world, and they're going to have to win. If they're going to win a lot of games, if they're going to push for a postseason spot, they're going to have to win in the margins. They're going to have to win, not taking care of the ball and turning it over on defense, and also making a few, key plays on special teams. So I think it all factors in.
How do you handicap the kicking battle and the competition right now, Greg?
Yeah, interesting question. I wasn't thrilled today with the long snaps of Julian Ashby, who the Patriots did end up, drafting in the 7th round. I think the first long snapper that's been drafted in a long time in the NFL. And he's been pretty good up to this point, but I thought he was high on the extra point snap. I thought he was also high on the Borregales attempt from 57. I think they also got on late on the field. So I don't think I'm going to dock Borregales all that much. Of course, we'll have to, see what the Patriots think. But I would say it's pretty even. And, I'm not that distressed about Borregales' sort of shank from 57, whereas, Parker Romo made from 57 the week before. I just didn't think the operation was very good. It was much better on Borregales' field goal that he got towards the end of the game. And that makes it a little bit more even when you're talking about the competition. I just thought the operation was a little shaky today.
Greg, who's got more likely a chance of making the team, Anthony Jennings or Kyle Duggar?
Ooh, boy. Great question. I mean,
neither.
I know. I mean, to see, Jennings came out of the game a little bit earlier, but not all that earlier. And you see Kyle Duggar, and then also, Marcus Epps, another veteran. Of course, he's trying to sort of make the team, and he's coming back from ACL surgery. But, I think the way that they use them, I mean, I still think they're both long shots to make the team. I've had them off my roster the entire time. And I think that Jennings is still a really good player. It's just a question of fit, and also, do you keep younger guys like Truman Jones and Elijah Ponder, and of course they're probably going to keep Braden Swinson, their 5th round draft pick. Duggar is at safety. They have a bunch of guys that they can play. I mean, they still really like Peppers. You have Jalen Hawkins. Craig Woodson has come on. I think it's between Duggar and Epps sort of for that final spot. I mean, then again, Del Pettis was getting reps in practice over Kyle Duggar when Jabril Peppers missed the second practice. So I would say that Jennings has the best shot, especially if there's an injury. I do think he's going to have trade value. I don't know how much trade value Kyle Duggar is going to have because of his contract. Patriots might have to eat some money to get anything in a trade for him. But I would say the longer odds are Kyle Duggar. I mean, for him to be out there till the end of the game, mean, yes, he had an interception on the final play, showed his boneheadedness, not going right down, almost fumbled for a game tying touchdown. He had a coverage mix-up earlier in the game. He factored into the 4th and forever play that the Vikings converted. He's having a really tough run.
We'll be getting into what that interception not going down might have meant for some gamblers out there. I know Joe has some thoughts on that. We'll get into that in a little bit. But, Greg, we can't let you go without asking about what you thought of Drake Maye's day and the performance of the starting offensive unit as a whole.
Not great. Again, from Drake, it's odd because he's been really good in the practices, and I don't know if he's just one of these guys. And I've covered guys like that, like Brett Favre. I remember even in his later years, still came out like sort of amped in games and would be wild high, and you sort of had to factor that in. Are they going to have to factor that in with Drake Maye? Is this a situation where he needs to get settled into the game? Because I mean he missed Demario Douglas. He also on that play where he went out to the right and found Mac Hollins along the sideline, and I think Mac Hollins is doing a lot of good stuff since he's been back. But he had options with Demario Douglas to a lesser extent in the right sort of seam. Kyle Williams was wide open down the left side, and Drake just missed him. And so they got to get that figured out. The running game's pretty good, but I would say in the games, Drake Maye and the first-team offense have been mediocre at best.
All right, Greg, we'll be checking out your coverage as always in the Boston Sports Journal. We appreciate the insight, and we'll talk to you Thursday night after preseason game number 3.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
All right, thanks a lot. Greg Bedard from the Boston Sports Journal.